guys. Hope you guys are enjoying yourself. Come on in, get some popcorn, get in your grandfather's chair, put those legs up, and enjoy yourself because this is gonna be one hell of a run. It's gonna be also the last run of today's stream. Okay, so without further ado, chat, I present to you the last run of today, Resident Evil by Ares. Take it away, Ares.
Hello everybody. So today I'm gonna show you Resident Evil Remake HD Remaster. I'm gonna play as Chris and I will try to go no damage. But before I start, I want to present you my commentators that are Lil Biz 61.
Hello there,
and
chat.
Shiny Pockets.
Hi everybody.
Alright, so I'm just gonna make the countdown after I pick up the skin. So what skin we should use? The Brad Pitt one? The Code
I'm
Veronica?
thinking Brad Pitt.
In my opinion, there are no Chris's before BSAA Chris.
Yeah, okay, let's go with Brad Pitt. It's a very cool skin. Alright, so we will start in 3, 2, 1, go. So I'm playing on hard difficulty as Chris Redfield. Hard difficulty is unlocked by beating the game one time on normal or on easy. What is very particular in this game is that everything counts for in-game time, even the cutscenes. So with Chris, you start with only the knife. You don't start with the handgun, like with Jill. So we're just gonna go and find the first zombie. We're gonna skip the cutscene and leap. And we will try to tell this about to our partners, but unfortunately they are not anymore in the hallway. So we're just gonna pick up the handgun, the very particular handgun, and we're gonna go back to the first zombie, but the first zombie won't be there anymore. He will be on the hallway. So another interesting thing about this game is that, like in all the classic Resident Evil games, you need to use the language that has the less text, because the text, it matters for every input that you make in different areas. Maybe Shiny, you can explain more about that.
That's pretty consistent with different Resident Evils. Like a lot of the time, and it's mostly for speedrunning, but it's just that like usually like I think it's for 2 and 3, it's the Chinese or the Taiwanese version. The text crawl is just faster. So in virtually every context that something would show up on the screen, like, oh, the store is locked, oh, you're gonna pick this up, or this item is this, it would just, the crawl is like slightly faster. So it's marginal, but over time, you will inevitably save a good chunk of time, especially when only seconds, makes the difference.
Yeah, and in this case, in Resident Evil 1 Remake, the faster text is simple Chinese. So you need to be very careful with your ammunition with Chris at the beginning of the game, because there will be 2 more zombies that we need to kill in order to make everything safe. I'm just gonna reset this specific part of the game because there's a zombie at the end of the graveyard. And sometimes you will aggro him when you start shooting the first one. But if you hack the right side, he will never aggro to you. So you are good to go and leave the graveyard on a very consistent and safest way.
Fun fact about this graveyard, this little door that, wow, you're good at stair skating. This little door that opens up to reveal this later boss room, this is much less safe and way slower, but they actually can't go down those stairs. So you can stand by the stairs and then wait for their AI to try and advance down. And once they get to that spot, their tether will reset and they'll just turn around and leave.
Yeah, that's correct. And another fun fact about these zombies is that they never become Crimson Heads. And Crimson Heads is a new addition in this game. So in order to make things a little safer, I'm just gonna go and pick up a defense item right here. In Resident Evil 1 Remake, there are 2 kinds of defense items for each character. For Chris are the daggers and the hand grenades. So what the defense item does is when an enemy grabs you, you can use the defense item to avoid damage. For a no-hit run, of course, using the face items are not allowed, but for a no-damage run, it's allowed.
Another thing that's kind of fun about defense items in this game, namely daggers, because it's the thing that's shared between both characters, is if you use a dagger on a zombie in particular and then you decapitate them, you can just take your dagger back.
Yeah, that's correct. So this zombie likes to be really, really tanky. But thankfully we have a crit, so that's very good because we will have to incinerate this body. If we didn't have a crit with this specific zombie, we will have to bring the kerosene and incinerate the body because he will be a Crimson Head after the guest house section of the game. So we come specifically to the kitchen because we need a small key, and that's another difference between Jill and Chris. Chris, instead of having a lockpick like Jill, he has the lighter. So for every door that Jill opens with a lockpick, Chris needs a small key. I'm also using the door skip, which is it's a software that is allowed both for speedruns and no damage runs. That basically cancel all the door animations in the game and makes the runs faster. Otherwise, you'll have to wait for the door animation every time you run this game.
That stair skating is insane, dude. You're so good at that.
Oh, but it's my controller is remapped. I'm gonna talk about it right now. So what I'm doing on the stairs, it's called stair skating, and it was created in this game. I think that's okay. So what you have to do in order to go fast up and down the stairs, you have to press your up dip button and start mashing your run button. But thankfully, both for speed runs and for no damage runs, it's not allowed to remap your control, so you can remap your right stick to the run button, and you literally just rotate your right stick, and it's like you are spamming the run button, so you can start skate freely, and you don't destroy your wrist, because that was like the main problem about start skating in the old way. So I'm just gonna let this zombie grab me, and I messed up because I didn't want to use the dagger. But I think it's okay. I wanted to use the grenade because when you use a grenade on a zombie, you will immediately decapitate them, and you don't have to worry about them becoming a Crimson Head. So Resident Evil 1 Remake, every zombie that you kill but you don't decapitate or you don't incinerate can become a Crimson Head, which is like some kind of evolution of the T-Virus that makes them more aggressive and faster. So they really become a threat if you let them become Crimson Heads. Another fun fact about Resident Evil 1 Remake and the door animation is that when this game was being developed, the developers wanted to not add the door animations in the game because the GameCube was powerful enough to not need the door animations for loading the different sections of the game. But then they changed their minds because the fans wanted the door animations because it's something very particular for Resident Evil games, or on that time, or was something very particular. Chris also has 2 less item slots, unlike Jill. Jill has 8, Chris has 6. So that makes everything kind of harder to...
But don't worry, everybody. Chris has the advantage of having, I think it's about 200 more flat health than Jill does. I want to say hers is 900 and his is 1100. I could be off by a little bit.
Yeah, it's something like that. I don't remember the correct number, to be honest. So the first shot and shell of the game will always decapitate the zombie no matter what. But after the first one, it's random. It's not like in the classic that every time that you aim up, you will decapitate a zombie. In this game, it's not like that. It's random. The chance is random.
Gotta love a good old roll of the dice.
Yeah, because in Resident Evil 1 Classic was like the shotgun was so goddamn powerful because of that specific reason.
Can I read a donation?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay, we have a $20 donation followed by a $10 donation by Ant Askew saying less than 3. Thank you so much, Ant. And with that, we actually reached $300 in donations. Thank you so much, guys. Much
Nice.
appreciated.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone that is donating to this cause. So what we're going to do right here is we're gonna equip the shotgun, then use the dog whistle, and we're gonna stand up right here and just wanna go wait for the first dog. There are 2 dogs. We just want to kill one, the one with the collar. Unfortunately, I missed 1 shot. That can be a problem later, and we're just gonna leave because there's a second dog coming behind the first one.
And the reason we need that collar is for a key for a trap later on to get the real thing.
Yeah, exactly. So right now we're gonna encounter the first Crimson Head of the game. This is a Crimson Head.
Fun fact about that Crimson Head, by the way, if you try to light him on fire in any context from the beginning of the game till now, he'll just get up. So you can actually force him to wake up sooner by doing that.
Yeah. Another fun fact about that is they can decapitate him. Of course, he will die. And then when you trigger the scripted wake up of that Crimson Head, he will wake up without a head. And it's very fun to watch.
Okay, now that I haven't seen. I'll have to try that later.
Yeah, it's very, very fun. Like you can force him with the fire, he will wake up, you can decapitate him, and then you force him to wake up with scripted because you are coming to this specific part. And he will wake up again, decapitated.
Another fun fact about this room that we just left, you actually can get hit by those little spikes. So for the context, not like you'd ever be in a hurry to do this, but if you were trying to go fast and you bumped into it, that can actually hit you while it's still active and moving back to its seated position.
Yeah. I think even speedrunners take care about that because the stagger will make them lose time. So with Chris, it's kind of mandatory to pick up the blue gem in the game. The blue gem will give us access to the white tiger, and it will give us shotgun shells. I'm just gonna open this door because I want to discard the key later. So if we use the specific keys on all the doors that can be used, you can discard them directly, and you will have 1 free slot. Right here we encounter Rebecca and Richard. Richard is being bitten by Yon, which is a gigantic snake. And he's poisoned, so we need to go pick up the serum and go back for Richard. And in order to optimize the time, we're gonna make some puzzles on the way. We're gonna pick up the first mask and shotgun shells.
And bless Richard's heart, there is no context where he survives. If you save him one way or he dies one way or another, there's nothing you can do to help him.
Yeah, that's correct. Like, no matter what, Richard will always die. The only difference that you save him here with Chris specifically is that you will be able to retrieve his shotgun in the guest house. If you don't save him here, you won't be able to retrieve his shotgun, but you will have Rebecca's help on the Plant 42 fight. But that's on the remake. In the classic, it's different. So, by the way, these tentacles are from the Plant 42 that are in the guest house. So we are just like disabling these tentacles in order to pick up the first mask. This is a new addition in the remake. These masks were not available in the classic. We don't care about the zombies coming through the windows because they need to fully stand up, before they can grab us. So we can just pass through them. A cool fun fact about this white tiger is that if you use the red gem, snakes will come through the ceiling. It's like the game punish you for making the puzzle wrong.
Now I gotta ask, have you ever accidentally put a red gem in the eye on a run?
No, I didn't, to be honest, I didn't even know about that until my friend Eater told me about that when he was making the kill all run. So with Chris, we need to go to the infamous Ichi Tasty room. Of course, I'm not gonna read the document, but we mainly come here because we need the small key that was on the behind the fruit zombie. And we already make all our charts, so we can go for Richard and save him. After we save Richard, we will be teleported to a safe room where we pick up the serum, specifically that room. And a fun fact is if you re-enter to that room where Rebecca is, I'm just gonna let this zombie grab me. Yeah, so this is the main reason you need to let him grab you at the beginning of the run, because otherwise you have to deal with him 3 times, as you can see. And it's a waste of shotgun if I keep using shotgun shells for him.
Speaking of fun facts relating to that room, the one where the zombie just grabbed Ares and he gave him the grenade. The guy that's asleep by the door is an absolute bait. He never wakes up. He never does anything. He is the resident sleeper of Resident Evil.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the game wants to force you to incinerate that body to learn about that specific mechanic in this game. So for some reason, one zombie will spawn instead of Richard. It's not Richard, by the way. And maybe I will be low in shotgun shells, depending how many shotguns this zombie takes me. If he takes me 2, I will be low. Or I think I will just let him grab me.
Another fun fact about wow, he doesn't want to grab you. Another fun fact about the previous room: whether you decapitate that zombie or not, after Jan's fight, he'll just be gone. So even if you just knock him over, incapacitate him by normal means, you don't have to worry about him for the rest of the game.
Yeah, exactly. And also, as you can see, when you use a dagger and you decapitate the zombie, you can retrieve the dagger from the zombie. But if you use a dagger and you leave the room, the dagger will be gone forever. Alright, so we're about to encounter the first boss of the game, which is Yon. The first time you encounter him is not mandatory to fight him. And to be honest, with Chris, it's much more easier to avoid him than with Jill. With Jill, it's a little riskier. But before, we need to activate this puzzle, and Chris unfortunately doesn't know how to play the piano, so Rebecca will come.
Sure.
But she needs to practice, so we need to let her practice. In order to advance the time and give her enough time to fully practice the song, the only thing we need to do is go to the main hall and re-enter. She will already be ready to play the piano. And also never forget to pick up the wooden emblem, because you need this for this specific puzzle. So right now I saved this specific shot and shell on my shotgun, because I need one specifically one for one zombie that will be on my way after the Yon fight. So the puzzle right here is always the same. It's moving the short. How do you say this?
It would be the hour hand goes to the armor, and the minute hand always goes to the helmet.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Alright, so we have the key for Yon. We will encounter the BOW that poisoned Richard. Always be careful about the zombie because he will always be behind the pillar.
He's one of a select few zombies that are chosen to live because they're not really that much of a threat if you just take the correct line through the room.
Yeah, exactly. So the cutscene ends, just go behind you and then hack the left side. And you will always slide on the side of Yon and you can leave. It's better, or it's mandatory to do this with the stick instead of the D-pad. So I think I didn't mention about that. In Remake... Oh, this zombie's dead. Okay. So in Remake, specifically in the HD remaster of this game, you have two types of controllers. The classic ones, which both your left stick and your D-pad will move your character as a tank control. And the alternate controls that it will change the left stick to another type of movement, that is this one. Like you can literally move freely. So in order to make optimized runs in this game, it's better to use both. The D-pad for the tank control and the left stick for the alternate control. Because there are specific places where you need the alternate. And some others that you need the D-pad.
Yeah, by and large, the alternate controls are very little question about it. Pretty much the superior way to just try and outmaneuver enemies much of the time, because you can do very precise movements that are not possible with tank controls.
Yeah, exactly. So right here I messed up again, and I did this in the last event I was. Unfortunately, I forget to go and put the mask. So I'm just gonna need to go back to the item box, and you will see why it's dangerous. What I should have done is that I should have go and put the first mask in the graveyard. So I will have one item slot free. But now I have to improvise a little.
Improvisation is always a good thing. Let's be real.
So after you try to pick up this crest, the moon crest, or I think it's the wine crest, the wasp will wake up. And you need to be fast, pick up the crest, and leave the room, because the wasp can inflict you damage after the cutscene. The first time is a cutscene, so it doesn't count as damage. But after the cutscene, it can inflict you damage. With Chris, you have more time to leave the room. With Jill, it's like the time is shorter. Alright, so let me think, what can I do here?
These, believe it or not, are one of the single scariest enemies in the context of a no hit or a no damage run for this game. There's a few spots where they're very troublesome.
God. No!
Oh no.
Freaking zombie.
That is very unfortunate. So one problem that can occur if you get grabbed in this game is, even if you have a self-defense item equipped, if you get grabbed from the back, it's irrelevant. They'll still get to hit you.
Yeah, and this is mainly because I didn't put the fierce mask before, because I shouldn't have go back to the item box. It's not necessary.
So that was the
because
dangerous part you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate, to be honest. And it's mainly because Chris doesn't have enough space, you know. So.
And for clarity, everybody, that was a demonstrative hit for Ares, so you could show that you can't be hit in the back.
Yeah, and also defense items doesn't help you when you have when they grab you on your back. Only when they grab you in front of you. But I think there wasn't too much to do on that section. The only thing I should have done is that come and put the first mag, because as you can see, all my inventory is messed up because of that.
I'm gonna start referring to when you specifically play this game, elevator Chris and Jill, when you're going up and down stairs, because that is insanely fast.
Yeah, it's insane. I don't think I've ever seen stair skating like that, to be honest.
Oh, thank you. But I'm not mashing the run button, I'm just like moving my right stick. As I explained.
I am absolutely going to be trying this remapping later. It seems incredibly handy.
Yeah, you don't destroy your wrist, so it's very healthy too.
No carpal tunnel here.
So, you already got hit, but I will say this: if you manage to finish the run with 1 hit, I'll donate $5.
Okay. Deal. So
Is this
we're gonna quit.
compounding? If he gets hit again, will you still give 250?
I'll think about it.
So after you put the last mask, the Elder Crimson Head will wake up from his graveyard. For some reason the door will close. For some reason I mean Wesker. So we will just get close to the Crimson Head, we're gonna shoot him in the legs. And we're gonna take space between us and the Crimson Head. Alright, that was very clean.
A really clean fight.
So the main goal for
fight
this...
is-
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Go ahead, Ares.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say this fight again. This is not as easy as Ares just made it look. Like he has several moves. He can. It's basically random whether or not he'll get staggered on like the first shot or several shots. He's kind of a menace.
In that fight, the movement control is very, very important.
Yeah, that is also absolutely true. In practically every context where you're in combat, alternate controls are the move, so to speak.
Yeah, so like the main goal for that Crimson Head is that you need to take space between you and the Crimson Head. And there's two specific things that he can do. Like he can try to grab you, which is the worst thing can happen. Because when he tries to grab you, he can immediately follow an auto attack. And if you don't take a very good space between you and the Crimson Head, he can attack you immediately without giving you a chance. But if he attacks, he kind of staggers himself a little, so that's the best time for start shooting. Oh, I messed up this.
So anyways, I started blasting.
Yeah, like the strat at the beginning is shoot him in the legs because you want to try him to fall down, but it doesn't work all the time. Alright, so for these crows, if you start walking when you're in the middle of them, they will never aggro to you. You can run if you take a specific line, like right in the middle of the path. But if you like go a little to the left or a little to the right, they will aggro, and there's a lot of them, so it's like basically impossible to avoid damage if that happens. We are mainly making this little puzzle because right here we're gonna find one of the strongest weapons in the game, which is the Cold Python, the Magnum.
And as you can see, this is one of the most deviously complex puzzles in the entire game.
Yeah, but it pays out because this weapon is very, very helpful for a lot of enemies and bosses. Of course, in speedruns you will never see speedrunners pick up this weapon. But I'm making for consistency. I'm making this for consistency. And the safest way to deal with specific enemies. Like the first one... Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
If you weren't to pick up that Magnum, what would be the other strats, I guess, more so?
So every time I will use the Magnum, instead of using the Magnum, will be about using the shotgun.
Shotgun.
Yeah, but I will explain that right now, I think.
This next part, the speedrun strat for it is super danger.
Yeah, it's really complex.
But there's actually a few different no damage strats for Lisa here. I'm gonna let Ares take the reins on how he's gonna play this part out.
Yeah, so the speedrun strat for this one is just dodge completely Lisa. And it works more consistently at 120 FPS than at 60. But what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna equip the Magnum, shoot, and equip the Magnum. And because she's staggered, I'm just gonna pass through her. Because Chris has less recoil and shoots faster, it's almost impossible that Lisa will try to hit you when you are behind her. With Jill, it's more possible that she will try, because Jill has more recoil. So she takes more time to unequip the Magnum after the shot.
And this is a very useful and consistent strat that spans a few of the titles, where you can hit a zombie, they'll be in an animation, and they can't act out of it because their animation isn't completed yet.
But yeah, so that was Lisa. Lisa is a new addition in this game, because in the classic Lisa doesn't exist. Lisa is basically invincible. You cannot kill her. It's like Nemesis. The only thing you can do with her is disable her for a very short period of time. So this is one of the main reasons I pick up the Magnum. Because with the Magnum, 99% of the time you will one-shot the dogs. And if you don't have the Magnum, you need to use the shotgun instead. And with the shotgun, you are forced to pump cancel. And the pump cancel is... oh yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, as uncomfortable as the incoming room with the snakes is, that room is worse if you don't have the Magnum.
Yeah. Because for some reason in this game, the dogs works very strange. Like, even if you stagger them, but you don't kill them, they will continue on the jump animation. Or they will continue running. So if you don't pump cancel with the shotgun, which is a trick to cancel the recoil of the shotgun, they will immediately grab you or bite you. Also, I didn't mention this, but Chris is faster than Jill on running. And also, I always unequip the weapons because both Jill and Chris run faster when they are without weapons, or they are with a knife. So that's the main reason I always unequip the weapons.
Fun fact about that camera angle, when you enter this room, I believe that's the only time it will do that. Anytime you enter this room after the fact, it does not get the fun highlight camera for the spider.
Remember going to that room when I was younger? Oh man, that terrified me.
Yeah, I think that's the end game. They want you to freak out the moment you walk in and see if there's a spider blocking the door now.
All right, so let me think about this. I don't want to waste the shot and shell, so I'm just gonna leave this and I'm just gonna let the zombie grab me. So usually what you want to achieve here is to save one shot and shell for a specific zombie that we will encounter right now. But because I don't have, we will find Richard's shotgun, the other shotgun is no longer necessary, so it will be a waste to reload the shotgun for only one shot or one use. So that's why I'm just gonna let this zombie right here that is going to enter to this bathroom. I'm gonna let him grab me. So a cool thing about that zombie, no matter you kill them or not, if you let him enter to the bathroom and you leave the bathroom, he will stay there forever. But if you don't do that, he will be on the hallway. You need to dodge him 2 times because we will go to that specific hallway 2 more times. Or to that specific room, sorry, not hallway. So this
Fun
little...
fact about this. Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, yeah. Go ahead, because it's fun.
I was just gonna
Little-
say, sorry. A fun fact about the self-defense gun: it actually does the most damage of any gun in the game. I believe for some enemies it does 9999. But basically, it can only there's like a certain threshold for some enemies where they can't take more damage than that. So functionally, it's meant to be a one-tap gun, which is why it only has
Yeah.
one use.
Yeah, it's like the most powerful weapon besides Barry's Magnum.
Right. Exactly.
Like that little that little weapon is so strong in this game.
The ultimate pea shooter, if you will.
So 120 FPS, you can do this. You can just like push this one time and enter directly. But this only works on 120 FPS because Chris kind of clip through the library. On any other FPS, you have to push first the one on the left and then the one on the right. Oh, Brooke, Adair, thank you so much for the raid. So maybe you're wondering why I'm using or why I have the handgun on my inventory right now. And it's mainly because we're gonna use that specific weapon to deal with one of the little sharks in the next area. In the next area there will be 2 little sharks and 1 gigantic shark, that is Neptune. And Neptune is another experiment from Umbrella with the T-Virus, which they use the T-Virus with a shark, and the shark, instead of becoming a zombie or something like that, the shark start growing on a very ridiculous size. So it's like Umbrella was experimenting with the T-Virus with everything before using it on humans. So we're just gonna equip the self-defense gun, we're gonna shoot, and we're gonna leave the room. We're gonna equip the handgun, re-enter, and start shooting. Because we have auto-aim on hard difficulty, it doesn't matter. Chris will always shoot to the little shark. And when you hear the splash in the water, that means the shark is dead. And you can re-enter and you have to deal with them.
And this is absolutely necessary to do. Like, you need to deal with them one way or another in the context of no damage, because this is a very long walk to this door, and they do outspeed Chris pretty substantially. There's a chance you can make it to the door without being tagged, but it's not great. Chance it.
Yeah, with Jill it's like 80% of the time they will bite you, because Jill's slower. With Chris, it's like more consistent to just run away from them because Chris is faster, but even so, they can even bite you.
And
So
we're
like
getting
most
that
consistent.
$5.
Emergency. Unknown source of pressure detected. Locking all doors to achieve maximum safety.
So this is a new addition in Remake, because in the classic, like the whole Neptune section, it was very, very boring.
Reaching 30% of pressure threshold.
Always good
And
when
on the remake, yeah, go ahead, Lil.
I was just gonna say it's always good when remakes actually take the time to enhance the quality of life in
Reaching
certain sections.
50% of pressure threshold.
Yeah, because in the classic it was just about going to one specific room and drain all the water from there, and that was it. There wasn't like a really threat from Neptune, because Neptune was always on the other side of the room, and you can completely avoid Neptune just by going to the other side. So after we shut all the doors, we can drain the water, and Neptune will be disabled. We're gonna encounter some Magnum bullets right here, Magnum rounds, which gonna be helpful for the next boss encounter, which will be Plant 42. And also we're gonna find here Richard Sheldon, because on the cutscene that I skip, Richard dies. Neptune eat him.
Fun fact about this segment, although it is incredibly risky and very precise, there is actually a way to escape this area without pushing the was gonna do it. The madman. The madman!
Dude, it's Ares. What did you expect?
Yeah, I guess I should have just waited for him to do it before explaining it.
No, it's cool. I was about to use electricity, but I said YOLO. So there are two ways, as Shiny was explaining. There are two ways to avoid Neptune. The first one is the one I did, which is risky because Neptune can eat you and you will die. You won't only take damage, you will immediately die. And because this game is permadeath, if you don't save, it's game over. And the other way is to electrocute him, which is the safest way.
This is another room that can be scary, but as long as your line is good, you should be okay. It's because of these bees.
Yeah, I think it's more about the time you stay in the room. Like the more time you stay, the more likely they will sting you. And of course, if you go at the end of the room, they will also sting you. Right on that specific section. If you try to go there, they will immediately sting you because you are not supposed to go there before you use the insecticide. So before we go to the plant 42, we need to make some item management. We specifically need the Magnum for this boss fight. We saved that earlier, so we're gonna go and pick that up, and save the self-defense gun. It's no longer necessary. And we also gonna save the handgun because it's no longer necessary too.
And now that Ares is functionally a walking armory, we're set up for a good chunk of the remaining part of the game.
Yeah, and there's a lot of treats. There's a lot of dangerous parts incoming. Like more dangerous BOWs will appear in the mansion. We need to deal with them. Like basically almost every zombie that we encounter at the beginning of the game will be replaced by a specific enemy that you will see right now. After I kill this boss, of course. Right here we have Blast 18 image, so I hope Blast is not showing this part for the kids. So we're just gonna skip this cutscene and we're gonna start skate up. Stand up right here and wait for the sound cues. That's kind of bad luck.
So as you can see, Ares is waiting for the whip sound cue because depending on your position in the room, Plant 42 only has so many animations, and this one will always swing once right and then once left to try and tag you from that spot.
Oh, he's still alive. Interesting. Okay. So unfortunately I didn't time it correctly because you can literally kill Plant 42 in 5 seconds or less if you time it correctly. But the main technique or the main goal for this fight is that you have to wait until the Plant 42 is open, because when it's closed, you won't inflict him damage. And it's like after every acid throw from the plant, the Plant 42 will open the center of the plant and it will try to swap you with a tentacle. I know that the specific part that I will stand up is like the most safest way, or the most safest spot to stand up. So another very good use of the Magnum because 2 dogs spawn here. So we're just gonna wait for the second one to appear in the camera. Now we're gonna shoot him. On a very rare occasion, the second one won't die with 1 Magnum bullet, but it's very, very rare. If that happens, it's only about to equip the shotgun immediately and shoot 1 shot and shell. So this is the most risky part of the game, in my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah, the snakes.
So we're just gonna kill this one, hit the jump from the others. Okay, cool. So the one on the corner. Oh yeah, go ahead, Shiny.
Oh, I think I was gonna say what you were gonna say. Those 3 at the corner are consistent. Like that one that's just like idle, waiting at the corner, will nearly always try to jump and bite you. So you'll see most players, if their aim is to do this hitless or damageless, they'll just stop and shoot that guy.
Yeah, and a very interesting thing that can troll you easily on hard difficulty on the any percent run on normal difficulty is that because you have auto aim, sometimes the character will aim to the snakes that are behind and not the one that is in the corner. So the first encounter with the BW called the Hunter Alpha, sorry, not the Alpha Hunter. So we're just gonna shoot this one with the Magnum. Sometimes he will still alive, so we're gonna equip the shotgun in case. Now he's dead. Well, we're gonna wait for his body to jump. And we're gonna pump cancel. Very important to pump cancel. That's a pump cancel. As you can see, I completely canceled the recoil of the shotgun. And sometimes if you don't pump cancel, the hunter will immediately turn around and attack you. And can become very risky. So I'm picking up handgun bullets because this is best ending, and I'm gonna use the handgun for the last boss encounter. So I'm gonna be picking up handgun bullets on specific sections, and I'm just gonna save them for the end of the game. So I think yesterday I saw the Hunter's Alpha 2 Resident Evil 2 remake, and those are the same as these ones. Like the ones in the hospital are the same as these ones.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So just a little puzzle about pushing this statue on a specific part. We open a secret door and we go down here, where I think right here is this is the graveyard from the person that created the mansion, right?
I'm gonna level with you. I don't remember, but I do remember this room and that spider right there. Can cheese you, but he will most often just be like looking around.
So we're just gonna take care about those 2 zombies, and we're gonna freely go to turn on the electricity for the elevator and leave this room. And guess what? We are back in the kitchen of the mansion. So we're just gonna kill this zombie and leave.
Fun
There's
fact
like
about that crumpled up zombie, he also will never wake up. He's just a fixture.
yeah. So a cool trick is go run and for the camera change start walking, and the zombie will always be on the right side if you do that. Like go run to the wall and then start walking for the camera change. So we pick up everything. The most important thing right there was the battery, because we need the battery to give energy to the elevator that is in the courtyard. So we're just gonna make some item management right here, because we need specifically 2 spaces for the 2 gems. So I'm just gonna leave this, and I'm gonna I'll be back to that specific part to pick up my ammunition. Shit. So hang on bullets here. Also gonna pick up this for the end of the game. So this is a very cool puzzle. So you see the eagle that it's rotating all the time. If the eagle is rotating and watching directly to the bull, it won't allow you to pick up the gem. So you have to bait the eagle to one side and go to the other one and pick up the gem, and do the same for the other one. Like bait the rotation to this part and go to the bull and pick up the gem.
Which this is like a fun addition to the game that wasn't present in the classic edition. In the classic edition, you just go grab the gem.
Yeah. And there was also magnum bullets in that specific room. So we're just gonna pick up this, we're gonna save the clips. And we're gonna also pick up the crank. And I think we're cool. Let me think a little. Yeah, we're cool. So when you pick up the yellow gem, hunters will spawn here. Will always spawn here if you pick up the yellow gem. For an any percent run, because you don't have to save Jill, so you don't need the yellow gem, the hunters will never spawn. And this is the first demo disc of the game, and we need 3, specifically 3 to save Jill at the end of the game. So best ending means save both partners of the game. With Chris you have to save Rebecca and Jill, and with Jill you have to save Barry and Chris. Which is something very interesting about the canon story of this game, because the canon story of this game tells that everyone escaped. Like both Jill, Chris, Barry, and Rebecca. But in the game, you cannot have that ending. So young boss fight. This time you have to kill him. We cannot run away from him. Gonna equip the shotgun, and after the cutscene, we're gonna shoot him 3 times. We're gonna go to the corner and shoot 2 times. And we're gonna go down the ladder. Take very close attention how Chris is raising his shotgun. And Jon is dead. So because Chris is raising the shotgun on his shoulder, the game doesn't allow you to perform the pump cancel that I explained you on the Hunters. So you cannot cancel the recoil of the shotgun. And this only happens with Chris. With Jill will always raise the shoulder, the shotgun, not on her shoulder. Only Chris has that problem. And only on boss fights, of course. Besides, except the Crimson Head boss fight. So we already have the blue block. And we need to go to a specific room in the main hall. By the way, the Crimson at the beginning of the game that wake up is around the corner right here, but it's not necessary to go there. So we will never aggro that Crimson Head. Which is very interesting is why Kenneth never become a zombie.
I was just about to say the same thing, because he is yet another fixture that literally is just crumpled on the floor for the entire game.
Yeah, he never became a zombie, and he was bitten by a zombie, so it will make sense. Like, of course, in the classic, it won't make sense, because in the classic, like, they decapitate him. But in the remake, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, he just gets a pure downgrade. He doesn't have items in this one. He doesn't turn into a ghoul in this one.
Yeah. Another cool thing about that specific room that I just leave is that if you go to the main hall and you go and re-enter to that specific room, a hunter will appear there and will destroy the door. So the hunter right here is also waiting for us, and it's very simple to avoid him. Just have to pass through him on his left side. Sorry, on his right side, on his right hand, yeah. And it's 100% consistent, by the way. Because the hunters in this game, for some reason, will always scream before they try to attack you. So that gives you a perfect window of time to pass around them. Alright, so because we already killed the dangerous snakes on this section, there's nothing to be careful about. Like every snake you will kill here before won't spawn again when you come back. But in the classic, it's the opposite. No matter how many times you kill the snakes, they will respawn every time. Right, so the main reason we do all of this is to have an entrance to the caves, to the underground area. And we are going there mainly because we need a specific item from there.
And the cave is one of the more uncomfortable segments of maybe not necessarily the speed run, but certainly of the no damage run, owing to a few factors. One being Black Tiger, which is a fun-sized spider. And there are a few different rooms where there are some hunters that are just in very compromising spots, and it's pretty difficult to maneuver around them safely. Like this room in particular, you'll see.
Yeah. The lines are very precise, for sure.
Yeah, so right here we're gonna encounter a member from the Bravo team, which is the other team from the Stars that appear in Resident Evil 0. Unfortunately, he dies for who knows what. Maybe Leon S. Kennedy killed him. We don't know yet. And a hunter will appear because he screams. We can just pass around him. And after we pick up that specific rank from Enrico's body, hunters will spawn on this specific section that Shiny was talking about. And I consider that it's more consistent to just dodge them than kill them.
That second guy, the one that jumped just then, he will very often do that, but it is not guaranteed. And that's the thing that makes that room very scary. Because the first one is kind of pressuring you. Like, you can't just stand in front of him in order to bait the second one to jump. But that honestly is the best thing. Is just kind of hope for the best that he makes the jump there, as opposed to just standing, resetting his animation, and then attacking you. Because they can swipe or jump, and swipe is much harder to avoid if you're directly in front of them.
Yeah, and also Hunters doesn't like to be touched for some reason. So if you touch the Hunter that it's on the right side, he will immediately turn around and try to attack you instead of screaming first.
Right, they don't like their personal space invaded at all.
Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna encounter the very particular sized spider right now. We're gonna pick up the flamethrower, which unfortunately won't be very useful. It's more like a key item than a weapon. Before the boss fight, we're gonna equip the Magnum. And I'm gonna show this 100% consistent strat that it can be used in any difficulty in this game. We're just gonna move our left stick to the left side and a little down. So Chris will go to the door immediately. And we're just gonna stand up and shoot. We're gonna leave the room, we're gonna keep the flamethrower and re-enter. So right now the Black Tiger gave me the best RNG, which is the jump. But most of the time, the Black Tiger won't give you the good RNG, and will try to tag you or will try to speed you acid. And I said this is a 1% consistent strat, because if the Black Tiger gives you the bad RNG of speeding you and trying to tag you, for some reason when you stand up on that specific part and you start shooting immediately, the Black Tiger will miss the acid or won't try to attack you. Like, will just start showing you the tits. So you have like free window time to kill her with the Magnum. Right, another very particular puzzle. That specific platform that is in the middle will make rotate everything. Like, for example, if I stand up, will make me rotate me. But what we want to do is make rotate the pillar that we just pushed. So I think I didn't mention this, but hard difficulty is basically the same as real survival mode in this game, with two main differences: that you have auto aim and the item boxes are linked. In real survival you don't have those two things, but in terms of difficulty, in terms of ammunition and the strength of the enemies and the bosses is the same.
Alright, and now that Ares has picked up the top half of the power cylinder, I actually don't know what else you could call it, but the power cylinder, he's going to return back to the opening area of the cave and activate the elevator so we can go do something else.
Yeah, exactly. But one hunter will spawn here. And the same rule. Cream, so you can just pass around them. I'm just gonna make some space here because we don't need weapons for this part. You know what? I'm just gonna pick up the Magnum just in case. But we are gonna save the bulb. It's no longer necessary, or the crank, sorry. And that's the last time we encounter hunters in the game. They are gone forever.
And good riddance, because they are one of the most annoying things in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the hunters from the classic are fairly more dangerous than the ones of the remake. So maybe you wonder the shirt from Chris, and it says "Made in Heaven," and that's also a reference from the custom from Claire in Resident Evil 2, and that is because that specific jacket was a gift from Chris to Claire. So we're just gonna push one time to the left and start pushing to the elevator. It's not necessary to fully push this box, like only on the top of the line of the elevator. We can like activate it. So I didn't explain this, but you saw me making Lisa spawn in specific places, and this is because it's kind of a labyrinth. If we make a spawn here, she won't appear on our way, so we have a free way out of the caves. So the main goal is to know where to spawn Lisa. so she won't cut our way out. And just another puzzle about pushing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and I think this will conclude the pushing boxes segment of the game. I don't believe there are any other boxes to push, and Chris is about to smash a perfectly good flamethrower.
Yeah. For some reason, there's a flamethrower in this box, and only a flamethrower, nothing else. Like a big box for just a flamethrower.
Right, this is the equivalent to when you give like a really big gift box to someone at Christmas, and there's like a camera or something small in it.
A box of chocolates. Like you get a PS5 box and there's only chocolates inside.
Yeah, there's socks in it, whatever.
You get like 5 more boxes inside the box.
But yeah, if memory serves, that is the last instance where Chris has to shoulder tackle a box in order to advance the plot in the game.
Yeah, it's the last one. He will push a shell, but not a box. So we make Lisa spawn again on the same place at the beginning, so she won't cut our way. You have to be very careful because sometimes Lisa, when you make her spawn specifically on that part, she tries to immediately go to the right. And if that happens, you have to lure her a little. So she won't be on your face when you're about to put the flamethrower. And by the way, this is Lisa's bedroom. And she had like the last part of the emblem that we need in order to continue with the game. And also this is why Lisa can be almost everywhere in the mansion. Like she has tunnels that connect the mansion. So always remember the zombie that is chilling right here and watching the horizon. Sometimes he can be there and he can be very, very scary. And this is a trick for you to think that he will grab you. And of course you will stand up in front of him and let him grab you. But guess what? He will vomit. So it's like the game wants to troll you.
And the reason that enemies will sometimes grab versus vomit or vomit versus grab is largely due to elevation. And this is something that's consistent in pretty much all of the classic trilogy. If an enemy, or sorry, if a zombie approaches you and they're in range to grab you and you're on elevation of any sort, they will pretty much always throw up on you. There are some examples where this is inconsistent, like in the classic Resident Evil 1, the room on the second floor above where you find the serum. In the classic, for whatever reason, those zombies will always be pukers. But in this game in particular, pretty much anywhere there's elevation, zombies will always throw up as adverse to biting you.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's about the elevations of the terrain in the game. So there was a cutscene where Rebecca is in danger because there's a hunter above us. We need to save her, otherwise we won't be able to get the best ending. So we're gonna pick up the shotgun and also pick up the... We're just gonna make space. We have everything, yeah. We need the magnum and the shotgun. The shotgun we needed to disable the enemy, and in case the hunter takes us an extra magnum shot. Wait, why are these zombies on that position? That's interesting. Oh, jeez. Just keep the cutscene, aim and shoot with the magnum. He's not dead, so equip the shotgun and finish him with the shotgun. As you can see, sometimes the hunters don't die with one magnum round. So the backup strategy is shotgun. And we already saved Rebecca, so she's safe for the end of the game. Right, we are approaching to the end of the game. First, we have to encounter Lisa, and this is a boss fight with Lisa. Of course, as I told you at the beginning of the game, you cannot kill Lisa because she's invincible. There are two things you can do in this fight. You can make her fall down from the platform by using your ammunition, which I won't recommend for no damage run. It's more recommended for a speedrun, because in a speedrun it will save you some time. Or you can just push all the stones and she will fall down on a cutscene. But you cannot kill her if you want her. So we're just gonna pick... Yeah, go ahead, Shiny.
I was gonna say, fortunately for the progression of the plot, you do not need to kill her, as she will take care of that herself. Once you have successfully pushed all of the stones off of each side of the platform, it will reveal a coffin, and she will grab something out of it and jump to her death.
Yeah. So our good friend Wesker will appear here. We're just gonna skip this cutscene, go directly to the stone on the left side, and we're gonna start pushing it. What we want to chip here is Lisa jumping. She's not jumping, so she doesn't give us the good RNG. So we will have to bait an auto attack from her. And we're gonna go for the other stone. And because she's gonna rotate, we can just like go direct to the other one. Like, this was a very bad RNG example. Like, the good RNG is that when you finish pushing the first stone on the left side, you get close to the tomb, and she will jump. And that will give you free space to go for the other 3 stones. Also, something very interesting about this fight is that if she throws Wesker, Wesker won't die. He will appear in the laboratory no matter what. But with Jill, if she throws Barry, Barry will die, and you won't be able to get the best ending because of that.
This is another example of a fight where it's not as easy as Ares just made it look. There's multiple unfavorable RNGs you can get in that segment, and one of the worst ones is that she basically body blocks you from advancing to the other side of the platform. And if she hits you, she can knock you off of the platform, successfully ending your run through this cave.
Yeah, that's correct. And the hitboxes from Lisa have a very, very wide, long range. So even when it ends...
They're deceptively huge, yes. That's I was just going to add on to what you were saying. That is correct. They are deceptively large.
Yeah, even when the animation ends, the hitbox is still there. So you have to be careful about that. So I think I'm just gonna let these zombies grab me, because they already grab me, so it's cool. I'm just gonna make this part very, very safe. So I'm just gonna reset the room. If you left a grenade on a zombie's head and you left the room, the grenade will explode and the zombie's dead. But if you left a grenade on a zombie's head and you stay close of the zombie or with the zombie, the grenade will inflict you damage. So you need to take space. Alright, so explodes. We're gonna let this zombie grab us. And do the same. We can leave. So the main reason I want to decapitate the zombies to make it on a safest, like the super safest way, is because they can become a Crimson Head later, and that will depend how much time you spend in the laboratory. The more time you spend in the laboratory, the most likely they will become Crimson Heads. So the password is John, sorry, the login is John, the password is Ada. And there's a very cool Easter egg here. If you put the second password like in the classic that is small, Tofu will talk. But the correct password is Cell. Oh shit, I messed up.
That's another Easter egg. If you put the incorrect password, it'll go.
Yeah, the password is Cena, John Cena. So like a little lore about the John and Ada thing. It's also because of Resident Evil 2. Like there was a scientist that was working in this laboratory, and his name was John, and her girlfriend was named Ada. And it's supposed that Ada was Ada Wong from Resident Evil 2. Like it's not 100% confirmed, but it's supposed that it was her because she wanted information about the Umbrella's laboratory. Of course, the scientist died. Like every scientist in this laboratory died and become zombies or chimeras. So the second and third demo discs are like one on the side of the other, like very close each other. Not very complex to retrieve them. It's much more complex to activate them, and you will see it right now.
Coming up is arguably one of the most unpleasant segments of the game. It does require a good bit of setting up because there is going to be a scene or a segment very soon where Ares he's pretty much forced to walk. You can move quickly for a very short span of time before you're forced to hold still again, or you will explode and immediately end the game.
Yeah. That will be with the nitroglycerin thing. But first we have to activate the demo disc, and the first one is activated here. Take very close attention to the conducts, because if you take more time in these rooms, a chimera will come through those conducts. So you need to be fast.
Fun fact, the receptacles that receive the Mo discs are GameCubes.
Yeah. So that was the first MO disc activation. We don't need to take care about the zombie that is behind us, only the one that is in front of us. So I'm just gonna check if he's dead. He's alive. Oh, no. That's interesting. I don't know why Chris was aiming behind. But anyway, we're gonna equip the shotgun, and right here we're gonna go to the corner of this white arrow. We're gonna equip the shotgun, aim and shoot. If you hear that sound, that means the chimera is dead. Like a very noisy explosion. Something interesting about the chimeras when you kill them. If the chimera is on a middle auto attack, when it's very close to you and you kill the chimera, the animation of the auto attack won't end and will inflict you damage if you don't get away from it, even if the chimera is already dead. So this zombie will disappear for some reason. He won't become a Crimson Head, so it's not necessary to take care about him. And I'm just gonna pick up these kind of bullets. Oh, I don't have space. I'm just gonna kill this zombie then. And now I have space. So right here is the section that Shiny was talking about. In this little capsule, we need to fill it with some kind of I think it's nitroglycerin, right? If I'm correct.
I think it is nitroglycerin. That's right.
And we need this for activate the elevator in the laboratory. So because this is nitroglycerin, if we start running or we shoot a weapon, it will explode and it will be game over. So like the safest way. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, depending on the difficulty you choose, you're able to run for very short bursts, and I mean very short. Like you could see Ares just now ran for a second and the game did not end, and that's because it's kind of on a cooldown. You can move for, I think it's like half a second or maybe a full second, and then you have to wait about 2 seconds for it to basically cool off, and then you can run again. So this whole segment is made extra unpleasant with the addition of chimeras in this room.
Yeah, and also it's the main reason why we killed that specific chimera, because that chimera is the one that is dangerous when we are with the nitroglycerin. Like imagine a chimera right here when we are walking. But yeah, what I was doing, like running and walking, is not 100% optimized. Speedrunners do it like on a very good, like they have the 100% optimization of that strat. So we're just gonna activate the ammo disc, and we're gonna bait the auto attack from the chimera and pass around it. If you have one magnum bullet extra, you can do it on a safest way. You can shoot at the Chimera and you will kill it. But because I don't have it, I just go for the dodge. So for some reason, this Chimera is very gentle. She will always go with us to the door and want to attack us. On a very rare occasion, she will try to attack us. But it's on a very rare occasion. But that's the Chimera section. And the ammo disc is also activated, so we'll encounter
I know I keep saying this, but that is another section that is not remotely as easy as Ares just made it look.
Alright, so here we need all the handgun bullets. Because we want to save the shell and shells for the last boss encounter. Oh, I have a lot. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, there's more. Yeah, we're gonna fight this next boss with the handgun, not with the shotgun. It will take us exactly 17 handgun bullets, if I'm not wrong. The ultimate light form. So we're just gonna skip the cutscenes. We're gonna go here, equip the handgun, sorry. Just shoot 2 times. And we're gonna take space between us and the tyrant and shoot 5 times, I think. Until we see the tyrant in the screen. When we see the tyrant in the screen, we're still taking space. And we do the same over and over again. So you need to be careful about waiting for the tyrant to appear behind you, otherwise the tyrant can turn around and appear in front of you. Yeah, that's the first tyrant fight. So the first tyrant is not so complex because the first tyrant will always walk. Will never charge or run to you. But the second one that will be right now after we save Jill is much more complex to deal with. Hayden Superhero, thank you so much for the raid.
Chris?
So what's happening right now is that Rebecca activates the self-destruction system of the laboratory. Right now there's not a countdown. The countdown will start before the boss fight. So we have plenty of time to save Jill right now. This is the main reason we activate the 3 ammo discs to open these 3 lockers. Or these 3 locks, sorry. We're gonna start skate down and go for the jail where Jill is. Very cute cutscene, I'm just gonna skip it, unfortunately. And I'm gonna re-enter to the jail because there is shot and shells. Gonna be helpful for the tyrant boss fight. And take a very close look at, or take attention to this. And oh, it wasn't visible, unfortunately. But for some reason, when you start skating up, the other character kind of bucked and just start like shaking. It's very fun to watch.
You can actually see the fear in Jill's eyes as Chris levitates up 32 flights of stairs.
Yeah. So we have everything, yeah. So we can continue. So the person that leave us here now contact us for some reason. By the way, that's Brad that dies in Resident Evil 3. Alright, so the countdown will start. So there is a 100% safe to deal with this boss that is not fight him. And it's a cheese about waiting to the 1 minute countdown and use the flare. But I'm just gonna fight him to show you. So I'm gonna use the flare. Sorry, I'm gonna equip the shotgun and use the flare. I'm gonna shoot just 1 time. We're gonna enter to the inventory, reload our shotgun and equip it, and we're gonna run right to this part of the map. And we're gonna equip the handgun. It's very important that you equip the handgun because the handgun has the max range. Because if you start shooting with the shotgun won't inflict damage to the Tyrant because he's really far away from us. So he starts running, and you need to run to his hand that is not mutated, and just repeat the same. He's gonna charge to us, and we're gonna repeat.
Again, Ares making this look much easier than it probably is.
Okay, so Brad, we're gonna throw us the rocket launcher. We need to dodge one more attack. We're gonna go directly to the rocket launcher. And we're gonna run to this corner because the Tyrant can charge to us right now. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, he was very close, unfortunately. So right now he's gonna run to us again, so we want to run to the other corner to avoid that. Right here we'll have the longest range between us and the Tyrant. He won't be able to attack us, even if he runs. But yeah, that's it. 2 hits, fortunately.
Jeez. What is that, 250 instead of 5?
That's 250, Blasty.
Chris, you did a fine job.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate, and it's because the Tyrant should have been a little more far away from us, and he won't be able to attack us.
Right, that was probably like 4 frames off from being able to cancel his attack into the animation where he deflects the first rocket.
Yeah, because even when you are when he's charging to you, but there's a long distance between you and the Tyrant, it's not necessary to dodge the attack. He will miss anyway, and that's what I was trying to chip there, but it was impossible, unfortunately. But yeah, this was Resident Evil Remake Almost No Damage. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching and stopping by here. I think maybe Shiny, you want to make shoutouts, and you Lil Biz, and I will do it at the end.
Oh, yeah, sure. Shout out to Ares for being one of the most impressive no damage runners. I myself would not have been able to accomplish no damage for some games if it were not for some of the strategies that he's improvised. And shout out to Team Whiters for having us here and, you know, running this whole charity event, giving everybody something fun to do on this lovely Saturday afternoon.
I would also like to say shout out to Ares for being an amazing dude and an awesome runner, Resident Evil. And also shout out to Blasty and Whiters for putting this awesome charity event on.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lil Biz and Shiny, for being here. Shoutouts to both of you for helping me and be able to be here. And shoutouts to Blasty and Team Whiters for making this possible and give us the time for show this awesome run, because this game is very awesome to run. It's very entertaining. But yeah, I think that's it, and thank you so much everyone for watching and donating for this great cause. And I'll see you tomorrow with Resident Evil 4. Hopefully Damageless.
Thank you for having me.